So I think digitalization, innovation, and transformation, if all three of them bind together, and it's needless to say, while digitalization does take over innovation, and I think the point of bringing this is exactly the two things that we are going to be discussing here today. So I think for large manufacturing, just one sec, please. Yes. I think for large manufacturing enterprises, bringing innovation is one of the focus area, but it matters is who you do this with. So our panelists today are the pioneers of their industry who are driving digitalization in their organization and have worked extensively with startups. They are also the Manufacturing Innovation Challenge industry partners. The panel will shed light today on how to leverage the startup ecosystem to facilitate digitization and share their experience of working with the startups. I welcome Rohan Chatwal, who heads the Innovation Center of Excellence at Maruti Suzuki India. He carries more than 15 years of experience in the automobile industry. Next up is Devdas Shetty. He's a Vice President, Supply Chain Performance, Global Supply Chain International at Schneider Electric. He carries more than 30 years of experience in the field of manufacturing, and he has held several multiple leadership positions in Motorola India, Yokogawa, and is now with Schneider. Next up is Satish Hegde. He's the Vice President Operations at Gold Star Jewelry. He carries more than 25 years of experience in jewelry in India and abroad. He has headed several innovation projects and is focusing on leading digitization in manufacturing operation at Gold Star. And last but not the least, the moderator of the panel, Mr. Praveen Kapse. He's a Vice President and Global Strategy and Technology at Tri-Diagonal Solution. He's leading Manufacturing Excellence and Digital Transformation Group as well. A warm welcome to all these panelists. Over to you, Praveen.
Yeah, thank you, Devashri, for very interesting sessions before this. And I'm sure all the participants are going to get a lot of insights. Okay. So coming to the today's topic of this panel, right, discussion, leveraging startup ecosystem for driving innovations in manufacturing, right? First of all, I'd like to again welcome all the eminent panelists. So maybe we'll like to start this discussion, right, with one question to all the panelists, and I'll request them to answer this in maybe in a couple of minutes. How do you see the contribution of startup, right, in innovation for your organization's growth? I'm sure you are using startups, so I'd like to understand your thoughts and views, right, on this. Maybe each panelist can spend 2 minutes. Maybe you can start with Mr. Chatwal, and then followed with Mr. Shetty, and then Mr. Hegde.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yep.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, thanks for introducing, and thanks, Praveen. Hi. So, startup contribution in Maruti Suzuki journey has been, phenomenal in the last 4 years. It's not about bragging, but everybody, all of you know what Maruti Suzuki is, and we are in the Indian market for the last 40 years, commanding almost 50% market share in the Indian passenger car segment. So Maruti has always been an innovative company, and to run innovation program, and especially through startup companies in an already successful and innovative company, is very, very challenging. So that is why, this idea of collaborating with startups work very well for an organization like ours, a large corporate, because startups are nimble, startups are agile, startups are working on the new tech. And if you are to kind of develop or hire all the engineers in-house to develop that kind of a technology or write codes in Python or use big data at a large scale, so it will take a lot of time. So the best way is to collaborate with the tech startups and give them problem statements and quickly deploy the solutions. It's a very quick win for a large corporate like Maruti, and it's a win-win scenario for a startup as well, because they get to engage with a large company. So you asked how the journey has been. Journey has been fantastic. And in fact, in the last 4 years, we have been able to show a ROI of more than 240%. Whatever we have invested, our return is as high as 240% in the last 4 years in our startup programs. And that is the kind of value generated by startups as on today. We have engaged with more than 1,500 startups. We're doing about 51 POCs, and out of those 51, 14 startups are working with us as business partners. And when I say business partners, we've given work more than 80 crore plus to these 14 enterprises. And we don't do free POCs, we do only paid POCs. So that means we respect startups' time so that they respect Maruti Suzuki's time. So all the key essentials, which are ingredients which are required to make a startup program successful, we ensure that we are doing this. And we have learned this from all our other partners as well. Like every discussion, you learn something. Maybe we'll learn something today as well and try to plug it in our program for future. Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chatwal. So I think I'll take that collaboration, business partners. That's really encouraging to hear that. And even right during the paid POCs, right, treating the startups as your partners is certainly very important, right? And that's how you build that ecosystem and trust as well. So I'd like to get the views from Mr. Shetty as well on the same topic, right? How do you see the contribution of startups for your organization's growth?
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you, my fellow panelists. Wonderful opportunity. I mean, as you all know that India is the third largest startup ecosystem. So that itself tells volumes about the entire things. And we are going to double up in terms of the GDP. Right now, I think it is around 2.5 to 3%. Probably it will become 4 to 5% in the coming 5 years. So that speaks volumes about our startups. At Schneider Electric, we believe in innovation at every level. So I'm going to talk about the 3 parts that we do. So we have 200 plus factories all over the world. 100 plus of that are advanced smart factories. In India itself, we have around 5 advanced smart factories. One of that is also a lighthouse certified by the World Economic Forum, end-to-end advanced lighthouse. So when we do this, definitely we need the startups because they are an engine of growth. So, they are there at every level. They basically drive innovation. And as Rohanji's talked about, they are very frugal, nimble, agile. They bring a lot of competencies, and then they complement us. They don't compete with us. So they complement us in every stage. So when we talk about Schneider Electric, we partner with them. And we see multiple, multifold benefits in this entire things. So at the SE business unit, we partner with the startups for the go-to-market strategy. So we collaborate with the startups in digital transformation of energy management, where we are pioneers, sustainability, and industrial automation to complement our digital offers, and also to provide a differentiation in those segments. So this is what we do at a global level. And then, we operate at a GSC, which is operational. We call it as global supply chain. So we partner with the startups mainly to be the early adopters on the emerging technologies. And this gives us the competitive advantage. It helps us to bring efficiency at every level and also adds to our capabilities. So this is what we do in that. And in this entire journey, we have also found out that one organization cannot be good in everything, right? We need partners to partner with. So that's what it brings. So in India alone, we partner with T-Hub, KTech, then NASCOM, and we bring in best of the things. At every plant, we have the labs where we can do the POCs and take it to the next level. And then once it is proved, we also take it globally. So there are many players whom we have basically done the POC and adopted in our plants in India, but also taken them globally so that we can leverage on that entire things. And also on the third, basically we work on the SC Ventures. So our VC fund basically invests in the bold ideas and entrepreneurs in the areas, especially on climate technology, sustainability, energy management, and industrial technology. Basically to achieve our organizational mission. So this happens at a global level, wherein we involve in all the things. So in nutshell, we work with the global, regional, and local startups based on the use case and also on the solution availability. So as we speak in India, we work with at least around 80 plus, different players at every level.
Wow, great to hear that with so many startups as a part of your ecosystem, Mr. Shetty. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. I'd like to now request Mr. Hegde, right, to share his views as well.
You're
Mr.
on mute.
Are you able to hear us?
Satish,
Audible?
yes, now you're audible.
Sorry, it was mute. Okay. So myself Satish Hegde and good afternoon to everyone. And here from I was introducing myself as a jewelry manufacturer. I think jewelry manufacturer, everybody believe most of the things we are manufacturing by through the artisans, mainly making all the products by 80% manually, but still technology supports us. Now industry is growing. Everybody know that jewelry have good stake, exporting stake in India, and technology coming up, merging with the jewelry industry. And as of now, startups, we work 2, 3 startups. As of now, we are practicing from last 2, 3 years, but we associated with Nescom the last 1 year, and here we are going with the 2, 3 project with the startups. And looking into the industry, we are looking most of the things to digitalization, towards to getting into everything. The automation is too far to us, but we are starting up with the first of all getting into everything in digitalization. So this startups definitely when we gone to 2, 3 startups, we are as a core, we are looking into our core businesses where we are strengthened. So these startups helps us to improve our processes and mainly to reduce mainly the duplication work what we do by regularly doing the manual works. So yes, there is a lots of potential we seen with the startups, and we are seeing much more collaboration with this startups, and I feel there will be a good way to go with the startups. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, Mr. Hegde. No wonder, right? India is now has the third largest startup ecosystems globally, right? Just to share with everyone, right? Like in 2016, the number of startups in India was just like 400 plus, right? And now into 2020, 2022, it has grown to more than 80,000, right? And thanks to the government of India and creating that ecosystem again, right? And the policies as well. With that, now we get to the next part of the question. So, my next question is to Mr. Chatwal. There are definitely pros and cons. You mentioned about the benefits of having engaging startups, right, in the innovations. So, as per you, what are the pros and cons of having startup involved in innovation, right? And how have you dealt with it, right? If there are some gaps, right, in the startups.
Of course, there are definitely a lot of pros when you engage with startups. Like I shared, that they are agile, they are nimble, and they are very closer to the tech because they are the ones who are working on the new technologies. And some of it is maybe absolutely new for Indian market, or maybe it is happening in global markets. But in India, they are the ones who are kind of driving it. So it's always good to know if you are engaged with these startups, what are the new technologies and emerging technologies in the market. And if Maruti wants, or any organization wants, can probably create some use cases and try and test that technology. That's a clear-cut advantage of engaging with startups. And they don't have a fixed schedule of working 9 hours or 8 hours a day. They can work 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. So time-wise, you get a lot of advantage. So their speed is very key, and they deliver projects very, very fast. But on the flip side, what we have seen, not every startup is able to scale up. I will just give you certain numbers that we sell close to 2 lakh cars every month, and we service close to 15 lakh vehicles every month at our service centers. So there are times when a solution is working in a closed lab or probably in a very small environment. But if you have to engage with an enterprise like Maruti, the solution has to work at a scale of Maruti Suzuki, like 15 lakh times if the vehicle is being serviced, that application or any solution should work 15 lakh times every month because our customers are involved. So what I've seen is some of the startups are not ready for this scale. Either they shy away from it, or probably they're probably not ready to work with a company like Maruti. And second, I have seen at times startups, they feel, I won't say greedy, they kind of get greedy in the sense that they feel large corporates have deep pockets. But a company like Maruti is very, very frugal. We are very, very cost sensitive. Every rupee we save in-house is actually a benefit to the end customer. If you're saving 5,000 rupees, we can reduce the price of our vehicle by 5,000 rupees. So sometimes startups I see, they give obnoxious costs, so which is probably not the right way. I think one should look for long-term partnerships with the large corporates rather than looking for short-term gain or a short-term game as well as gain. So these are a couple of things which I think are key for.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. I think how the startup, right, match to the expectations of the companies. That's very important, right? And I'm sure, right, as a part of your ecosystem, you are helping them as well, right, to grow and drive those innovations.
Absolutely.
So my next question is to Mr. Shetty, right? Again, right, we're talking about the startups. There are a lot of young startups, young entrepreneurs, right? It's in the same line with what I asked to Mr. Chatwal, right? So how do you really fill the gaps, right, in your organization? And do you think this co-creation and co-collaboration is the best way to develop if they have certain challenges, right, in terms of meeting the expectations? So how have you dealt at Schneider Electric, right, in terms of addressing those gaps?
Okay, so I mean, I think Chatwalji answered a few of the things in those things. So I think your answer, I mean, your question is more to do with how do we fill the gaps, right? Like while the startups basically contribute in many ways, like technology, efficiency, building competency in a few technological areas, and also helping us in the speed of implementation, because they have this passion, they want to, come up faster and things like that. So those kind of things are helping us. But we basically see this startups and young entrepreneurs as our extended team. Unless we see them as that, it's very difficult to garner that. So they are part of this entire supply chain. So they are not just vendors offering some service or solutions. They are more like a partners. They are part of us and things like that. So if you want any project to be succeeded, so we need to put together a team which is filled with the subject matter experts in that. Let's say you want to do something in a warehouse automation, then you need to bring the people with the competency and the expertise in that area, and then put together along with them. So they have to work very closely with the startup so that we can take this to a further level. So this is one of the things that we do. And also there has to be a mix of the industry experts from our organization, like Schneider, who are from the core areas, like let's say the supply chain and other things, who work very closely with this entrepreneurs. So, and also these entrepreneurs will bring some disruptive ideas and solutions, which will enable them to collaborate with us, and also helps to co-create some unique solutions, so which will basically help us so in this journey. So these are some of the things that we do. So co-creation is definitely helping us, because when we give like a certain for example, I can quote an example in a plant like Hyderabad, which is our advanced lighthouse. So we have a dedicated lab where these people work together. So it's not just for them. So we have made that ecosystem available for them. So they come over there, they experiment the things, they have access to our resources, okay, the lines, manufacturing lines and things like that. And then they are part of us. So when they are part of us, it makes things faster. And whenever a startup comes up with, it is not, it doesn't end in one, there is a there is not one size fits all kind of solution, right? So when they come up with those kind of things, it helps us to what you call manage those things, or manage the changes in faster pace compared with the other things. So these are the things that basically we follow to help this entire ecosystem.
Right. Yeah, I think as you rightly said, right, co-creation and developing them, right, and treating them as a part of your extended team, right? Certainly would have the startups, right, to address those gaps and really collaborate to develop something and innovate, right, and contribute in the innovation as well. So my next question is to Mr. Hegde, right? Looking at the jewelry business, right? Innovation and differentiation is a key, right, for your business. So how is your experience in terms of the creativity from startups, right? When it comes to the jewelry type of industry.
Yeah, as I mentioned you earlier, this is too early to say anything about the startup. We have worked with the 1 or 2 startups as of now, but one thing is sure, uh, we are working with the 2 to 3 use cases as a problem statement, and the way the startup people come up to give us the solution, it is amazing. And secondly, it is, I feel like jewelry industry, it is very much helpful because our industry is looking into the create the product. So it is the most of the people going through the design aspects, and also the people who are working this industry, they're basically from the creativity jewelry designs and everything.
Correct.
The engineering, innovation, technology, it is people started adopting now. As you know now, recently, if I discuss anybody long, if you talk to people like, we also using today CAD, CAM, technology like which is coming now, metal printing also in the jewelry. So what is happening here, the people who are working to this industry, they don't have that knowledge about the technology. So in that way, what we think is startups, whatever we associate with them, we can go with the any technology with getting that innovative support or maybe giving us the technological guidance, which will be very helpful. And it is growing to this industry will be very good thing, what I can see in the future. So once again, I see like industry like jewelry, it will be going to be a good thing in the future.
Great, right. Thank you, Mr. Hegde. Yeah, certainly. I mean, to start up contributing into creation or the creative part of it is also very encouraging, and the companies like you involving in those core areas is also very encouraging. So my next question is to Mr. Chatwal, right? I'm sure you're running some programs as well, right, to promote the startups and build this ecosystem. So we'd like to understand, and it would be great if you can share what kind of programs you're running today to promote the startups and build this ecosystem, because you are continuously, doing the innovation, because that's like a growth strategy for every organization now. So what kind of programs you are running today?
Yeah, thanks. So we are running multiple programs to engage with startups depending upon the stage of each enterprise. But our flagship program is MAIL program, which stands for Mobility, Automobile, and Innovation Lab. This is our corporate accelerator. We started in the year 2019, and so far we have engaged with about 52 startups, and we are currently into 8th cohort of its of MAIL program. So 7 cohorts we have successfully completed, and out of those 7, 14 are already our business partners, and 8th cohort is on. So this is one program where startups, where MVP is ready, they have few customers, early stage, they can actually join our program. We give them problem statement. They have to come back with a boardroom solution within the next 2 months. And then we do a quick demo day. And the interesting piece here is the demo day it's judged by our managing director and the board members. So of course, when the top layer is interested in a program like this, especially because when you are running an innovation program, you have to cut across the organization, and you have to cut across several layers of leadership as well, because you have to drive projects. And if on a demo day, MD and this top management approves, okay, these are the top 3 winners, so then company-wide acceptance of those projects is very high. And because of which this, our success rate also goes up many notches. So this is one program. So another program we are running with IIM Bangalore, which is called as incubation program. It's for even early stage, very early stage startups, and where probably the MVP is also not ready, where a lot of hand holding is required. So those kind of startups we engage through our incubation program. And some techs which is slightly disruptive also in nature, then those kind of projects we take in our incubation program. Like drone, use of drone in automobiles. I mean, drone is it's you would say it's not a new technology, but think of a use case for a company like ours. So those kind of use cases we test through in our incubation program. And then we have another program called as Mobility Challenge, because it's been 4 years we are running MAIL. So some of the business leaders say that I don't have time to handhold and mentor startups for so long because the output comes in about 6 months. So for them, we have launched a very, very sharp focus program called as Mobility Challenge, where mature startups can apply and even unicorns can apply. We give a problem statement, very specific problem statement. So only those startups apply to that program who can solve this challenge. That's it. Either you are this way or that way. And within 3 to 4 months, we onboard them as our business partners. Of course, they have to suggest their approach and give us a solution. So likewise, these are 3. Recently, we started a pre-incubation program with IIM Calcutta as well for East and Northeast part of India. So Maruti's success today is, the 4-wheeler is because of our reach and network. We also, walking on the same principles that let us increase our reach. Let's go to tier 2, tier 3 cities. Like we did a challenge in Meghalaya. We did a challenge in Guwahati. It's not that the applications from major centers have dried up. It's just that we want to engage with entrepreneurs down far east and see what's happening there. So recently we concluded one cohort of pre-incubation as well. So spectrum is pretty wide because each startup's requirements are very, very different from one another. So that's why you have multiple programs and you need a structure to engage with them. Otherwise, without a structure, it becomes very difficult to manage for you and the entire team as well. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's really, really great to hear. So many programs you're running, right? I'm sure, and this is creating like kind of a good stage for a lot of startups, right? It could be the smaller ones, right, who are just trying to get in, as well as the matured one as well, right?
Yes.
That's really encouraging, and I'm sure, right? As I said, India is well positioned, right, to drive this technology innovations, right, because of the combination of skill sets, the government policies, right, the digital infrastructures being set up. So I think we are definitely at that inflection point, right, where a lot of startups are going to contribute to the innovation and transformation of the businesses of a lot of organizations as well. I'd love to hear all the panelists, but I think in the interest of the time, maybe we can take some questions, Devashri, if at all we have some questions from the participants.
I think we haven't heard from them yet, but if there are any, they would 110% put it on the chat box.
Okay, sure.
So you can conclude, I think, for this one.
Yeah, great. So I like to thank all the eminent panelists to share, for sharing their thoughts and views. This is really, really encouraging to hear from the thought leaders, right, and how they are leveraging startups as a part of their growth strategy, right? And we heard a lot of interesting views, right? Like Mr. Chatwal mentioned about how we can have the quick wins by collaborating with the startups, treating them like a business partners, like as Mr. Shetty said, right? And right from in the innovation stage, right, and different phases of the product development to launch and the supply chain as well. So every phase, I think startups are getting involved. Right, and even in the differentiation, as Mr. Hegde mentioned. So a big thank you for all the panelists for sharing your thoughts. I'm sure all the attendees must have really got a lot of good insights, right, and way to look into such companies, right, by getting involved and contributing to the innovation and transformation. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was very thought-provoking conversation. I think, Praveen, shout out to you. You moderated well. And if the key takeaways for me is, I think what was eye-opening is when Rohan said that, we do have this anticipation that there are a lot of big budgets out there. That's sometimes people just quote unreasonably. I think aligning yourself to the sender's vision is so important. And just two extremes I saw today, from Mr. Shetty saying that how it is that they're bringing an entire ecosystem together, helping startups, empowering them more, to Satish saying that, it's imperative that for a jewelry or a laborious industry like them, they have startups coming up with more innovation in tech, and suggesting them more. I think the spectrum and the variety what we saw today was very thoughtful. So thank you everyone, to all our panelists, and you too, our moderator Praveen, to sparing time and joining us here today. Thank you.
Thank you.